All right, let's talk about one of the biggest and frankly most expensive decisions you can make for your home, the driveway. It's the first thing everyone sees, and if you get it wrong, well, it can be a really costly mistake. So let's make sure that doesn't happen to you. When you're staring at a quote for thousands and thousands of dollars, this is the real question, isn't it? Is this money about to become a cracked, crumbling mistake, or is it a smart, long-term upgrade for your home? The funny thing is, the difference isn't the price tag, it's all in the process.
So, let's break down what exactly separates a great investment from a total headache.
Now, this comes from an industry expert who's been in the business for over 20 years, and it really gets right to the point. The key phrase there is done right. If you can nail that part, a concrete driveway isn't just a slab of gray stuff, it's a seriously valuable asset.
To really understand the value here, you've got to look past that initial sticker shock. So let's dig into the numbers and see how this all plays out over the life of your home.
And boom, right away you see the big hurdle. The upfront cost of concrete is way higher, often double what you'd pay for asphalt. I mean, if you just look at this chart, you'd think asphalt is a no-brainer. But this is just chapter one of a much longer story. Because look what happens when you fast forward 35 years. Asphalt needs constant work, regular seal coating, and usually a full-on replacement every 15 or 20 years. Once you add in all that long-term cost and hassle, the entire picture flips. Suddenly, concrete's durability makes it the clear financial winner. And the math on this is really simple. A concrete driveway that's done right can last 30, 40, maybe even more years. That's literally double the lifespan of asphalt. Just think about that for a second. You completely avoid an entire cycle of tearing everything out and replacing it. That's a massive saving of money, time, and, let's be honest, stress. It's not just about how long it lasts either. It's about pure strength. A typical driveway mix is rated for 4,000 psi. So, what does that mean in plain English? It means it can handle some serious weight without cracking or leaving those ugly ruts. If you own a big truck, an RV, or a boat, this isn't just a nice feature, it's an absolute must. Okay, so we keep using this phrase, done right, but what does that actually mean? Look, the professional guides break it down into 9 super detailed phases. But for you, the homeowner, it all comes down to 3 absolutely critical stages that you have to watch for. These are the 3 non-negotiables. 1, the base, that's the ground underneath, has to be perfectly prepared. 2, the concrete mix and the pour itself have to be exactly right. And 3, and this one's tough, you have to be patient and let it cure. Get any one of these wrong and you're headed for trouble. Let's start with the most important one, the base. Just look at this. It's pretty shocking, right? Almost half, 40 to 50% of all premature driveway failures come down to one single thing, a bad base. Trying to save a few bucks by skimping on the ground prep is the biggest mistake you can possibly make. You're pretty much guaranteeing you'll be paying for cracks and repairs later on. Now for that third crucial step, curing. This is so important to understand. Concrete doesn't just dry like paint does. It's actually going through a chemical reaction that needs time and moisture to build up its internal strength. If you rush this process, you permanently weaken the entire slab. So I want you to burn this number into your brain. 7. You have to keep all vehicles off your new driveway for a bare minimum of 7 days. No excuses. I know it might look solid after a day or two, but inside that chemical reaction is still firing away. Your patience for 1 week is going to pay you back for the next 30 years. All right, knowing the right steps is half the battle. Now for the other half, knowing which common mistakes will lead straight to a costly disaster. This quote should be a real wake-up call. A bad concrete job isn't just ugly. The cost to tear it all out and start over is often more than it would have cost to just do it right in the first place. You literally pay twice. So here's your cheat sheet of what to watch out for. We've talked about the bad base and driving on it too soon, but also check the slab thickness. That standard 4-inch slab is not going to cut it for a heavy RV. And this one is huge. Using de-icing salts that first winter can permanently scar the surface before it's fully hardened. So how do you defend yourself against all these shortcuts? This right here is your single most powerful tool. You have to insist on an itemized quote that spells out all these details. If a contractor gets weird or won't put the base depth, the slab thickness, the concrete strength, and the type of reinforcement in writing, that is a massive, massive red flag.
In the end, it really all comes down to this one question. The choices you make, from the contractor you hire to the patience you show that first week, are going to determine the answer. Are you building something for the next decade or for the next generation? Now you know exactly how to make sure it's the latter.